Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Barb Wire Bite podcast. I'm here as always with your host of the night, Mr. Gary Wolf. How's it going today?
All right, man. Peace. How you doing over there in Nebraska?
We're doing good. Getting ready for our first frost of the year, thank God. Get rid of these allergies.
Nice.
Now, I know we always talk about the ECW, but I found something on the internet. Well, a couple people actually sent it to me, and this is, as I have my phone, Paul Heyman will never discuss these stories. I'd like to ask you them, and you tell me if these are true or false, or no comment.
Okay.
Ready? Rob Van Dam slapped Taz. I've heard this one before.
Yeah, I have to. I've heard that.
Did he smack him? Did he pick a hand?
No, he didn't pick a hand.
Okay.
He could have. He had it. He had the choice to, but he chose not to.
How about Francine and Dawn Marie's backstage drama where they got in a fight at the one night stand?
I didn't know they got in a fight that night.
Well, considering Dawn Marie was pregnant at the time, I'm going to say that one could be false.
I'm going to say false too because I was there and I definitely would have saw something. And I remember, you're right, Dawn Marie was pregnant, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was like way pregnant too.
Yeah.
I can't see a pregnant woman getting into a fist fight.
Nah, I don't believe that one.
Only booked Scott Hall because he was in the middle of drug addiction.
I could hear that coming out of Paul's mouth. I don't know if it's true.
Could have got him cheap, maybe.
That's the only reason he got him cheap. That's the only reason.
Crowbar's school books got him thrown out of the locker room.
I don't remember that.
I think he was Devin Storm back then. Now, this one we all know is true. Paul Heyman always lied about Vince McMahon funding him.
He was getting money from Vince.
He'll never talk about, I don't know this, I think it's fake, the whole Todd Gordon mole incident, which I never bought into.
Todd was already involved. Todd hired Paul.
Yeah.
Todd hired Paul. So
Paul Heyman hiding in an office from an upset Kurt Angle over the crucifixion.
that did happen. He was upset. I was there. He was like, what the fuck? Like, it wasn't that bad. I mean,
no, it wasn't at all.
I mean, to our crowd and to our fans that were there that night, I mean, some people, yeah, they were like, oh my gosh, like, wow, like, but nobody got up and took a picture and said, that's it, I'm going to the paper and you can't be doing this. This is against religious this, religious that. Those people were psychotic over there. They loved it. They loved it. I mean, I was actually pissed that Raven had to go out and apologize.
That was stupid.
Because it just, to me, it ruined it. Because they had great, come on, man, look at our angles that we had. You know, you got Raven and Sandman. You got Raven with Tommy Dreamer, which was huge. You got me and Shane Douglas. You got all these different, all these fucking angles. Vince can't keep an angle going for 2 weeks without switching it up. I mean, Mandy Rose is in NXT now. They changed her whole entire gimmick. What is she going to be the next? They're going to make her. What was that movie? That chick was always in. She had the guns. Angelina Jolie was the first chick to play her. Lost Raider.
Tomb Raider, Laura Croft.
Yeah. She was the first one to do it. Then the other chick took it over. I guess Aerosmith's daughter or whatever. Yeah, what are they trying to make her be? That chick next? Is that the next gimmick?
I like when they take somebody from NXT and they bring them up to Raw and they give them a new name and a new gimmick. It's like, it's your fucking product. Everybody knows who this person is already. Why are you switching their names?
I don't know why they do that. I mean, especially now how smart the fans are. They're acting as if it's 1980 again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit. Back in the 80s, I remember, what they have, a guy dressed up as a hockey player?
The Goon.
The Goon, yeah, he would go to the ring in gimmick.
I think the Goon was also a Doink the Clown at one. I can't think of his name. He was also Doink the Clown at one time. He was.
Well, to me, Matt Bourne is Doink the Clown.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. The original Doink the Clown is Matt Bourne, Maniac Matt Bourne, and I'll always say that because I was good friends with him, and that's the way it goes.
He passed away, didn't he?
Unfortunately, yes, he did.
What
Because
about-
he's a third, fourth generation worker, bro.
What about Paul Heyman conning Sonny into that scandalous interview, which I never saw a big deal because that scandalous interview was about 30 seconds long.
I don't even remember that. He couldn't have been that scandalous if I don't even remember it.
He had a few clips from Smoky Mountain, a few clips from WWE, and it was going to sit. He brought her in, and because she was now a recovering drug addict or something. It literally was like a minute long, but it's always been like, oh, it's so terrible how he exploited her. It's like everybody knew she was fucked up. Everybody knew Candido was fucked up too. It's like there's no exploiting going on here.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I remember something like that was when Kimona Wanalea saved us when the power went out.
I remember
She
that.
went up and did her striptease, and and she did it classy, and I thought that was cool.
If you get paid, you're not exploited. That's my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, she knew what she was doing. We
Yeah.
said, "Yo, we're in a jam. Can you help? Can you help us?" And she said, "Yeah, I could fucking help you." And she sure shit did, So it worked. It worked.
You had a lot of beautiful women over in ECW. I think I said, I was always very partial to Beulah McGillicuddy.
Oh yeah, when Beulah came in with Raven, that was funny. I don't even know where. Honestly, I don't even know where she was from. I don't know if I guess she was from New York, maybe. Maybe Tommy was.
I think from what I read, she used to date Brian Pillman, or was with Brian Pillman for a little bit, or something. I don't know. She did some, I think Cherry Magazine. I think she might have been in. Raven found her, I think, at a ball game or some shit, and then hell, look, Dreamer married her. He's doing okay.
Yeah. He told me one day, she don't want me home. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I've been on the road for 13 days. I'm like, you haven't been home in 13 days. He's like, no. I go, why? He goes, my wife, like, she hates me. And he was dead serious, man. I was just like, what? Are you fucking shut up, man? You know what I mean?
He's home now. He's been canceled officially, so he's home now.
That's what I heard. I heard he got a friend of mine hit me up and said he got a lot of heat just for saying something on inside the ring show that we watched.
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, he got
canceled
from
TNA, if anything,
everything.
Yeah, but I mean, what did he do that was so bad?
We talked about it. When Ric Flair was helicoptering his dick by that waitress. But then when
done it before, seen it a million times.
Yeah, that's what Dreamer said. He's like, oh, that's Ric Flair. I'm paraphrasing. It's Ric Flair being Ric Flair. But what people don't realize, as Dreamer's going, it's nothing I haven't. It's just Ric Flair. Then they're splicing into this poor stewardess who's, she's coming across very likable. She's a victim. He wouldn't let me go past him as he's doing that. And they cut back to Dreamer. I've seen it. So he came off really looking.
Because I mean, sometimes my brain don't, as I watch things. But now I understand what you're saying. But wasn't she under an NDA herself?
Yeah, and then her husband told her not to sue or something like that. And it was what he did was wrong. You shouldn't go up to a woman naked waving your dick. But
no. I mean,
Dreamer kind of made it off like, that's Ric Flair. But like I said, they're cutting into her.
No, I was on the first time ever leaving the United States of America, leaving New Jersey, Philadelphia, whatever, just say the United States. I was going to New Zealand in 1989. It was my first tour ever to work the British Bulldogs. So it was like, whoa. Like I got to work them there. I forget what we're talking about. I'm sorry.
The dark side on the plane with the
Yeah. Okay. So I'm on a plane, right? And I'm on a plane with, I don't know, probably 20 guys, 20, 23 guys, maybe. Dynamite Kid comes out of the bathroom, stone ass fucking naked. From California to Hawaii, stone ass fucking naked. And it wasn't a big deal. I mean, we all laughed, but I mean, people weren't freaking out and people weren't losing their shit. He was just laughing and just going up and down the row. He was walking up and down each row, each side of the plane, bust ass naked, man. Funny as shit. Funny as shit. I was even in the van with him, and he was driving the van of all the guys in the van, and he crashes the fucking van in New Zealand. So, I mean, he's insane, that motherfucker. I miss him. He was a funny, crazy bitch. But yeah, I mean, I've been out in the clubs when I was in North Carolina, living and working for South Atlantic. We would always hang out with Ric Flair. And he would always sometimes go out. He would go out to his car, come back in with a robe on and nothing on underneath. And these are nightclubs. And they didn't care. People wanted them to do it. Deep down inside, I mean, it was a private airplane, number one. Okay, Vince used a private fucking plane. So there's no civilians on there. Vince is up front getting whacked himself with his wife.
Yeah, he was there. He could have stopped it at any time.
If he turns around and says, JR, will you go back there? You know why? Because Vince is sitting up front smoking a fucking joint with his wife, relaxing and chilling. I've heard stories that Vince McMahon smokes weed. There's nothing wrong with it. Who cares?
Everybody
Who cares? I think it's great. And I'm glad that he took it off the fucking list now, because it should have been off the list a long time ago. But
Rob Van Dam was a smart one. Like, what happened? He's like, it's not right. I didn't see anything. He just came across, and everybody that next, Rob Van Dam's so awesome. It's like, it's because he just had the no comment. That what Dreamer really should have had.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, you think Dreamer was sitting in the same area that Ric Flair was sitting?
Dreamer was in the back.
Flair was in the front. Bro. Yeah, he's in business class or he's in fucking first class. At least first class, maybe business. You know what I mean? So there ain't no way. And Vince, like I said, I know Vince. If he bought a fucking plane and said, take us here, I'm paying you, we're going to do whatever the fuck we want. And we're maniacs and wrestlers. We're letting you know this ahead of time before you become our stewardesses. You have a chance to back out and other girls will take your spot. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that's what they had to do. It was a last minute gig when they got the jet to use, to fly them back, because they had to get back in time to do their TV. So, I mean, I understand it, but still, if you're going to rent a plane, pay for it, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want. And if it wasn't, if it was like an FAA gimmick and Flair did that, he would have got locked up.
Oh, yeah, the marshal would have had him tackled midway through.
Yeah, in a minute. So, he knew what he was doing. He knew he wasn't going to get in trouble.
You think Dreamer that's what he does. You think Dreamer was an idiot, though, for like, yeah, I'm standing up for Ric Flair. Ric Flair don't give a shit. I shouldn't say that. They could be best friends for all I know, but Dreamer should have I was way in the back. He should have said nothing. Let JR do all the talking.
Hey, look, man, like I said, man, karma's a bitch. It happens to everybody. And I'm not saying I don't have a problem with Dreamer, but there's been times where he could have gotten me booked and friends of mine booked that I know and didn't do it because of what reason, I don't know. But we wouldn't have done that to him. You know what I'm saying? But what comes around goes around. I guess he said the wrong shit he shouldn't have said.
Yeah.
Who knows? I say shit on this show every week. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Sometimes I have to look at you and ask you, what are we talking about?
Like anything can be edited. Whereas with him, they didn't edit Dreamer. They just happened to put in the quick splices of the lady. And it's like, wow, this poor woman, which I'm not trivializing. I do feel sorry for her, but you're intersplicing that with some guy who's like, it's nothing like that. So every splice makes him look worse and worse. He got booted off of that busted open radio that he does. TNA got, or Impact, whatever you want to call him, they got rid of him. I mean, he's sitting home with his wife now. Good for him. She's gorgeous.
Wow. Yeah, somebody told me he got in trouble, but I didn't think it was that bad. She spit up a little bit.
You know, everybody comes back. I mean, everything blows over. They
I mean, look, if I was him, I would be happy I'm home. I would get all my injuries fixed. If he, you know, get it, I'm sure he's not stupid. Get fixed up. Take some time off and get fixed up. He's on the road a lot.
He has his company. I think he still owns his own company, that House of Hardcore.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was talking about. He could have booked me and a couple of people that happened to be in the area at the time of the show. And his excuse was, I don't want it to be an ECW show.
That's exactly what the company is.
It's hardcore reunion. What are you talking about?
They run in the arena.
You're running in the arena. So just be straight with us and tell us the truth. You don't have to lie to us, you know what I mean? And think that we don't know. So, you know, when the person hit me up and was like, yo, man, Tommy Dreamer got himself in a hole. I'm like, oh shit. You know, I guess karma's a bitch. It was just there. So that's how I look at it. You know, I don't have a problem with Tommy. I'm too old to worry about stupid bullshit. You know what I mean? I don't do drama no more.
What do you think about, we were talking about it off the air, and I wanted to ask you a little bit about AEW. On the RTE show that I do with Cousin Cecil, we've been talking lately about how we're sick of CM Punk coming out there. I love you people. All you people are the greatest. Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Because he's a natural heel. I mean, I can look at him and tell he's probably a prick in real life. He's a natural heel. Do you think people are, how long before people, in your opinion, are going to get sick of that whole "I'm here and I love you" gimmick and just be like, shut up and wrestle?
I know, we were talking about that. I get it, you know, the first couple shows, especially that one that was the pay-per-view. I rented the pay-per-view. I thought it was good.
It's good.
I mean, come on, man. Fuck, they have so many good matches. I mean, let's say this. Yeah, they just keep bringing them out, and I get it, but everybody knows he's back now. Okay, he's back. Be happy, he's back. You'll see him during the show. He don't have to come out and do a segment all the time. You know what I mean? And that's what they're doing. They're trying to kill minutes on the clock. Is what they're doing. You know, they have a show for 2 hours. I always used to talk to Bruce Pritchard about this because that was his job. He worked for Vince McMahon when he was 18 years old. He started, and that was his job, sitting in front of this computer watching the show that's being out right there being recorded, that's going to be on Saturday morning. And he's looking at a clock and a watch, and he's got to make sure each match is perfect and they're all done the same time. And you know, they're telling me and Anthony and my partners and whoever we're working, just say Tony Blanchard and Arn Anderson, the brain busters, which we did. They're like, okay, you got 15, 20 minutes, you know. By the time I get to that curtain, we're down at 4 or 5 minutes. You know, because other people that went before us went over time. And that's why when you run a show, you got to really be good on times. Especially like if I'm in the main event, I'm all over that show. From first match, second match, all right, that's 5 minutes, that's 10 minutes, okay, that's going to be 20. Because I want to make sure if I'm a main event and they're giving me 30 minutes, I want to make sure I got 30 minutes. I don't want to get up there and say, you got 15. You know what I mean? I always used to hate that, man. But that's how TV is.
Why do you think with Punk, like they put him in hot with Darby, which I didn't like because I didn't want Darby to do the job. But then they're like, all right, now we're going to get Punk against Powerhouse Hobbs. Like, oh, Punk's going to wrestle on Rampage, don't you worry, against Daniel Garcia. It's like, I get that he wants to work with some younger people, but isn't it time that you clearly are paying this guy a lot of money? Isn't it time? It's like, let's get you in here with Adam Cole. I'm not saying Russian Angle, but if I'm Tony Khan and I'm paying this guy well into the millions, he's not wrestling what I consider YouTube job guys on my TV. Don't you think he's it's about time for him to be in a program?
Yeah, I think they're gonna. This is what I think they're doing. I think they're trying to do the promo gimmicks as long as they can get it through. Keep them strong, which they're having a problem. You know, he should have went through that table. The black guy should have got him through that table. By not going through that table, to me, that sucks.
He just kind of slid off of it. I don't think it was gimmicked.
It doesn't have to be gimmicked. Go through the freaking table. That's all there is to it.
Hobbs is a big guy. He could have just.
He should have been able to put him through that fucking table with no problem, dude. I could have DDT'd him through that table with no problem. Fuck.
Do you think he just didn't want to take the bump?
I think what they're doing is I don't think he's ready. Okay. I mean, I saw his body when he was working with the guys in that show Heels. I saw his body when he came back. He's not like, he doesn't look like he's been in the gym, you know, pumping his shit up, just getting in shape. So I think he's been sitting home being very lazy, maybe working out with some MMA shit that he does to keep his cardio, and because he is fit. I'm going to say he's fit, but I think they're trying to break him back into that wrestling mode again. You know what I mean? Because he was in that MMA thing for so long. 7 years out of the ring, to some people, could put a lot of ring rust on you. And you might need 4 or 5 matches to get that ring rust off. So maybe by then putting him with these certain people, you know what I mean? Like if you put him in a match with, right now, put him in a match with fucking, what's his name? The one that's working with Daniel Bryan, that champ. Omega. Put him in a match with Omega right now, you would be the shittiest match ever. He wouldn't be able to keep up with Omega right now.
Omega's awesome. I love him.
That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be able to keep up with Kenny Omega, so he's not ready to be at that spot yet. So I think what they're doing is, you know, building him up slowly, letting him get comfortable, no injuries, let's not get hurt. You know, let's build it up, and finally we'll have him against an opponent that's worthy. I guess that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? But right now, I couldn't see him go against Kenny Omega and be spectacular like Daniel Bryan would be. You know what I'm saying?
What did you think of, you watched last week, right? AEW?
Yeah, what I remember, yeah.
What did you think of Arn Anderson in front of Cody's house burning all this shit? And then Cody's like, what are you doing here? You didn't come here to shoot me, did you? And Arn's like, and I like how Arn told him, he's like, yes, why are you losing? You're going off and doing a reality show. You're being a judge on this show. You're getting soft. Give me that tie. And he's burning stuff. It's like they took a guy that we were making fun of for carrying a Waffle House menu to go do an interview saying he's going to splatter your brains with the Glock. Now it's like Arn is the hottest thing they got going right now.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what, hey, I know Arn Anderson, he ain't going to sit there and make people think he's a fool. I mean, he's going to say, look, this is what we're going to do because I want to look like this. That's what I can see Arn saying. You know what I mean? I mean, I've worked against him, and I drove home like this the whole way home. Man, my trap was killing me, man. I was like, they gave me that brain buster. Yeah, I felt that brain buster.
What did you think of the old school angle where Darby was getting ready? Obviously, Sting left him, flew home or something, and Darby's this must be gonna ride a skateboard home, and the Pinnacle limo pulls up, and they all get out with the masks on, you know, so they don't get arrested or something. And they jump him and beat him down. What'd you think? Because you know, I like how it's clearly you know who everyone is under the ski mask. Did you like that, or was that too 80s for you?
I wonder how many people are working in the office there with ideas. Like, I hope it's just not 1 or 2 guys. You know what I mean? Like, I know Cody's like the president, kind of. You know what I mean? So I know he's the last. But I did watch him and his wife's show. I thought that was very interesting.
Didn't like it. Didn't like it.
I thought it was interesting, but it's just a copy of The Miz and The Mizzen. You know what
That
I
one I
mean?
like because I think the Mrs. Wife has more personality than Brandy. Brandy comes
Oh,
off very
whoa,
unlikable to
whoa,
me.
whoa, 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 man. Brandy, what the hell? Where'd she come? Where did they find, where's she from?
I don't know. I
Atlanta,
mean,
Georgia or something?
possibly. I don't really know much. I just remember
She
when they.
seems like she's a girl that don't take no shit, bro. I mean, I could just tell by the way she talks. Like, if you're not on, she's gonna be all over you, dude. You know what I mean? Like, she's all straight up. Like, when it's time to be a bitch, she's a bitch. You know, I'm not saying his wife's a bitch. I'm not saying that, but she's got the cojones to back herself up. You know what I mean?
I don't think Cody's that interesting though. Like I have nothing against him, and I think it's amazing what he was to what he's become now. But at the end of the day, and people get mad when I say this, he's just a WWF guy that's using
Yeah,
his
that I mean,
gimmick.
he
His
don't. To
matches are nothing
me,
different.
he don't. He's not a Daniel Bryan guy. Okay, that's the apples and oranges right there. You know, their way of life and the way they live is totally different. Uh, it's just a totally different thing. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, that's what's going on in television today, bro. They need content to put on television. You know, back in the day, WWF would send videotapes and ECW would send videotapes, WCW would send videotapes to all these cable companies and have to pay them to put our show on TV. And now there's what, 2,000 channels? There's not enough content. So, I mean, now, especially you add Netflix and all these other new streaming devices and shit. I mean, why do you think Netflix is trying to buy everything they can to put on Netflix? Topic I want to bring up to you. Did you see the last Dave Chappelle comedy show?
Well, I didn't, and it's not that I'm not going to. I just haven't had a chance yet. I am a fan of Chappelle. I do like Chappelle.
Me and New Jack. Not many people know this, but I'm going to say it. It's good. We would always make fun of the Chappelle show because we loved it. Like, he never knew what Dave Chappelle was until I turned him on to Dave Chappelle. Jack flipped out. And he was just like, this is fucking awesome. Like, he loved it. And I would always be like, all right, whatever you say, Jack. All right, Jack. White power. You know, and he would look at me and be like, all right, white power. And people would look, that are around. It's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, a fight's getting ready to start.
Yeah,
They hear
the
New
old,
Jack.
where he was the blind guy. I remember that bit. That was the first bit ever, I think. One of them.
Yeah, I can't say their last names. The other bit with the family that had the last
Yeah, I
name.
know what you're talking about. No, that was a great show. He got a little
Oh
heat
my
too for
God,
that
dude.
special he just did.
But I watched the special. I didn't watch all the other shows to see where he did say things that were offensive. But I think he made it very clear that when he was talking about it on this show, he was apologizing if he did offend anybody. And I think that was a good thing for him to do, which he didn't have to do. Nobody pressured him to do it. But they're giving him heat about it, and even Netflix is sticking up for him. And I saw the special, and if anything, he apologized for what he said. He didn't make it worse. I think he did better. And it was interesting. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but watch it. It's a good show. It's Dave Chappelle at his best.
You watched Heels.
Yes. I am still pissed about it. I'm still fucking pissed that I didn't get that finish before they had the match, because I would have called it before. When they said a three-way dance, I'm like, oh man, not with that old guy. I'm like, how are they going to do this? So I'm waiting for them to all grab the three headlocks like we used to do in the three-way dance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that old
and they
bit.
didn't start it like that. They started 2-on-1, and I just wasn't thinking straight, man. I should have thought, the girl's hitting the ropes and doing all these lucha spots, and she's at the building. She's at that match. You know, he shit his pants. He
They covered that. He took
that
all
was
that.
off.
He was taking all those drugs beforehand.
Bro, no, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you I have shit in my pants. Okay. Ted DiBiase clotheslined me so fucking hard across the face in 1988, 89 that he made me shit in my pants. And that's no joke. So it happens. So I don't know if it was the drugs or he got hit pretty fucking hard. But when he turned around and said, I can't get up, I shit my pants, I just lost it, man. I lost it.
He did get up though to stop the one guy from running in the ring. Where's the
Beautiful
security at
fucking
these shows?
clothesline.
Everybody from other companies is running in on shows. Where's the Atlas security at these places?
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm waiting now that Heels is doing it. I'm waiting to be at a show and another show comes fucking flying in and we start fucking pounding shit. Like, but it just drove me crazy. I thought the finish was fucking great. Awesome finish. I just am so mad that I didn't think of it beforehand because it was the perfect finish.
Oh, and she's cute. That girl's really cute.
It was the perfect finish, bro. And I'm telling you, they got to definitely have they got to have season 2 in the can. I think personally.
I think that this is my guess. If I was going to write a show, I hope the next season is kind of more with them and that other company, the Florida company, maybe like a territorial war, because I can't see the two brothers fight and make up every single week again. I want to see more of this company going against this company. That's kind of what I personally.
That looked good. And that one guy that has the strap that left their company, the black kid, I think that's Harrison's son in the movie, in the show. I think he plays his son. Yeah, he's their champ now. And I think it's a cool show, man. It's not, you know, it's not just because I'm a mark for the business. I think it's a good show. I mean, finally somebody thought of a show that you could actually talk about, do wrestling in, you know, but a real show, not our show. You know,
I think the final was called like the names like Dusty Finish.
I love that.
This one was called Double Turn, and
yeah,
it's got all that lingo in there, and I like that.
That's our language. You know, the office. You know, you potato me, you got a fucking receipt coming. You know what I mean? It's the same shit. But I thought it was a great show. I hope they have a season 2. I think it'd be great. Fuck, I want to get on it. Be a drifter going through town, man.
Get CM Punk on the phone. I think Chavo, I think, does some stunt work on there. Possibly.
Probably
does for a lot of shows.
Well, he's got a family that's out in California too, so you know. But
my opinion, Chavo should do things like that because I like Chavo. I can see the talent in Chavo. The world will always know Chavo is Eddie's nephew. He'll never be anyone except that guy that was with Eddie. I mean, that's if you're going to be in the shadow, why not be in the shadow of Eddie? But yeah, that's I think why he's never gotten a huge main event push. It's just he's not Eddie.
Yeah, that's why I can't. Sometimes I can't deal with watching what they're doing with what Rey Mysterio is doing with his gimmick over there. You know,
it's so funny.
He's just too young.
He is.
He's too young. Why are they rushing to get him out there so young? I don't understand that. It just blows my mind. You know, it's not like, you know, you don't need the money right this second. Everybody's taking care of him. He's taken care of. He's going to have a spot. Put him somewhere, you know, an indie show. Get him, you know, they're teaching him on the road. It's not going to do, all it's going to do is fucking somehow it's going to hurt him. He may hurt himself one night. You know, I don't want to see that happen.
What I think is funny is you see like when Ray, you know, because I'm older, so it's like, oh man, Ray's the most amazing athlete ever. And you show like an old Ray match, like against Hoovy or Psychosis or something like to my son who's 12. It's like, this guy sucks. Phoenix, Pentagon, you know how the moves have. And now I'm wondering, will my grandkids be like, that Phoenix sucks? You got to see this guy.
It's only going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. Combat Zone at the time, the only thing they did different than ECW was the light tubes and glass. Now the motherfuckers got weed whackers and fucking trampoline fucking barbed wire, and it's just gotten to the point now. What's next?
Let me, you'd be the perfect one that can answer this. So we watch, I always say how much I like Game Changer Wrestling, and they had their big pay-per-view last Saturday. Finally, the death match, Gage against Moxley. And I, like everybody else, is like, well, we know Moxley's going to lose to Gage because Moxley works for AEW. We're talking 10 seconds into this match. Moxley's already all busted. They're sticking each other in the mouth with cutters, bleeding. Moxley keeps the belt, so they obviously he's got some good deal worked out. He's still champ. But what do you think possesses a John Moxley who's making millions to go to this other company and get hit with glass and light tubes and pizza cutters and barbed wire? Is that, I don't understand that. I mean, he's good at it, but still.
Maybe that's why. You just answered your question. He's good at it. He can do it without getting hurt and get away with it. And now that since he's on AEW, he's going to get the money that he deserves to get to do it. You know what I'm saying? So when they used to pay him $50 to brutalize his body, now he's getting them back. Oh, for sure. He's getting them back. You're paying me, bitch. Guaranteed.
I think had a little glitch because of the dog howling. Do you think ECW at the time, what would have happened if they would have started doing the light tubes and the glass? Because they were already ahead of everybody with the barbed wire and basically the barbed wire. The Rottens were killing each other. Do you think they had the tables, you had the fire?
We didn't need to do it. We needed to have some wrestling left. It just couldn't be brutalizing each other with weapons. That's not called wrestling. So we needed to do, we needed our Dean Malenkos, our Eddie Guerreros, our Rey Mysterios. We needed our people that knew how to wrestle too. And then we had our Ian and Axel Rottens. And then you had your Public Enemy, your Eliminators, your Pitbulls, Bruise Brothers. So if you think about it and look at the whole bunch, we're all kind of misfits. You know what I mean?
Well,
how it happened.
When the Rottens fought, because that was nothing new. That had been done in Japan, but it was slow. Like if you and I had a match like that in Japan, it's going to be a lot of ooh, when you stop and ooh, it's going to be a good 10 minutes for even a tap of the barbed wire hits. These two fucking guys, ding, 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 bam, bam. It's like, Jesus. But then it ruined all those other matches. They did so much so fast. It was like, where do you go?
Oh, so people had to follow that match?
I wouldn't follow the Rottens, but yeah, it was always terrible. They would come on like third or fourth in the card, killing each other.
That's what. Yeah. Paul would put them on pretty early. I mean, we did an angle with them as a tag team, and then we did another angle with them, and then it was Loser League Town, and then that's when they started having problems. I think Egan had problems with Paul. I wasn't sure. But then they like to do their, glass and death matches and shit. That was no bullshit, man. They fucking they take their whole hand up and then they would glue real chunks of glass to their hands. And this shit, I mean, literally, I was like, hit the wall. I want to see how it works. He hits the wall. It's like glass shattering everywhere. It doesn't come off. And it's going to go in your face. And they tore their arms apart, man. I knew Axel pretty well, so I used to see his arms up close. Scars on his body were, whoo. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, for John Moxley, I mean, he put a lot of scars on that body, bro, way before he got in WWE. So in my mind, Moxley's saying, I'm going to get that money that's owed to me from all them death matches I did back in the day that you paid me that crap money for, and I bled for you. Now I have the name, you're going to pay me. And that's what he's doing. And I don't blame him for that. And if he's allowed to do it, God bless him. If he can make an extra 15 grand, 25 grand, who knows, what this guy has. He's on TV. They're going to pay him what he pretty much wants. I mean, I know Jericho probably goes to Japan, New Japan, for $100,000 now. I mean, I was in Japan. Shit, I used to go to Japan with Jericho in the early 90s when New Japan was the shit, you know? But yeah, I don't blame Moxley at all, man. Get that money back. Get them scars back. You know, you bled for that company. They're going to pay you.
The weird thing was Ian Rotten, no offense to you if you're listening, Ian Rotten, I see no talent in you. I see zero. I see a guy that just hits himself with shit. Axel, although I personally was not a big fan of Axel's, he was talented. That's what I never got. It was like he can work, he can talk, he's smart. He was, even with the drugs, he was smart. It's like, why didn't Heyman notice this? Like, man, I could do something with this guy, because for a while he even got in a pretty decent shape.
Didn't WCW have him dressed up as like a British rocker?
Yeah, it's like he was against PN News. Yeah, I can't remember. I think he might have been Axel Rotten too. But yeah, it's like and he had the odd alignment accent and all that. Yeah, it was really bad.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, everything was going well for him and Balls when they were in WE. I mean, I thought that was a good gimmick. I was happy for Balls, you know what I mean? Because he needed that.
I felt bad for Balls because Axel messed that one up for him. Bad.
Yeah, Balls was actually being good. He was trying to get his life back to order, you know what I mean? They wanted them together. It's not like they chose that, you know? So sometimes you got to do it. They were, you know, Balls was over like a motherfucker, man. And imagine if Vince would have paid AC/DC for the biggest balls of all. I mean, that's the difference.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference that AEW is making that Vince ain't making. Like AEW is going out of their way to pay more money for extra things to make people want to watch their show. Number one, you're getting wrestling. You want to watch it. Number two, you're getting awesome fucking music. Right? Awesome music that he paid for. Vince don't want to pay Metallica $1 million so Sandman can use Enter Sandman. But he would have got that money back in what?
Oh, maybe on the pay-per-views? DVD sale, pay-per-view. That's
one pay-per-view, he would have got that $1 million back. That one pay-per-view, that one entrance would have paid. That whole entrance between the t-shirts, the buys on the pay-per-view, he would have got his money back.
Speaking of the Sandman, I heard he did a little celebrity boxing over the weekend.
He's done that. He's done that a couple times.
How'd he do?
Yeah, he's done that a couple times for David Feldman. They do the celebrity boxing. I was asked to do it. We never ended up doing it. But if he comes to Tampa, Florida, I'm doing it. His brother does the bare knuckle.
Is it real or is it a work?
Majority of it's a work, and then he's got a couple matches on there that are real, that are shoots. But yeah, it's celebrity boxing. Come on, these celebrities don't want to get hit.
I remember when China fought Joey Buttafuoco. I actually thought China.
Dude, I was going to play him.
Money out on China for that fight.
Dude, I was going to do Buttafuoco. I was supposed to do Jose Canseco, but his brother came instead and tried, because they're twins. So they tried to trick the promoter and get paid for, and he wasn't him. So that got scrapped. And then the last one was Bubba the Love Sponge here in Tampa. I was supposed to do.
I think Bubba's hilarious. I love Bubba the Love Sponge. I like Bubba the Love Sponge better than Howard Stern, but how is he looked at in the wrestling community? I know he's a big fan. I know some love him. Some
I live here in Florida. I got to find out what radio station he's on. He's on Sirius. Yeah, so he's on Sirius. I mean, my opinion between me and you, I think Hogan and him had that whole gimmick fucking set up.
100%. I've always said
that. Dude, I'm in the business, man. Yo, I got a scheme where we're going to make some money, bro. I'll run it by you. You're going to look at me if I said that to you and been like, All right, let me go talk to my wife. I'll get back to you.
I
Okay.
just lost all my money in a divorce. Oh my God, I just got it all back. It happened to
Yeah,
me.
and then some, and then another 100 million on top of it.
I'm
Come
not
on,
stupid.
bro. What a work. I I couldn't have done it better myself, man.
No, or pop. I always thought Linda Hogan's ex-wife. I always thought she was gorgeous. I thought she was better looking than Brooke.
Really?
Yeah, I thought. But once I saw Brooke in TNA Impact, and she was Bubba Ray Dudley's girlfriend or something, I was just sitting there like, oh, this is terrible on so many levels. That was the worst stuff I ever saw in my life.
I remember they were trying to hook her up with Davy Boy Smith Jr. back in the day.
That's right. That's right. That was on their little show. It's
Yeah, that was on their show. But I thought Linda was mean. I mean, you can't shave your husband's fucking back. I mean, are you that? You
my
get
wife does
whatever you
mine.
want. You want a roof from London. I'll fly you a roof from London in to Tampa Bay. But you can't get a razor blade and shave the hair on my lower back. You can't do that for me? Okay. That girl would have been kicked to the curb so fast, bro. She would have been out. She would have been knocking on Randy Savage's door. Let me in.
Thing I love about
Elizabeth, let me in.
like when I was a kid, I was not like a Hogan mark, but as I became an adult, I really like him because it was like the 80s, the gimmick here, the 80s gimmick, it's going down. NWO, I reinvented myself. And it's going down. Reality show, reinvented myself. He knows how to keep staying relevant. I have to consider him probably the best worker in the business. I mean, he knows he makes the money.
Well, my opinion on Hogan is the way I met him, how he treated me, not knowing who the fuck I am. He didn't know me from Adam. But I met him the first time I worked for Vince McMahon in Niagara Falls. And I was walking through the building, just exploring it, man, just exploring it, checking it out. Like the stadium's fucking big. I've never been in front of this many people. And I see his bus in the back, and he's walking toward me. He's got his cowboy boots on, big yellow cut-off sleeve shirt, big as I mean, he was huge, bro. At that time, we're talking late 80s, big. And I was just like, I can't walk by him and not say anything to him. You know what I mean? So it's like, pleasure to meet you. My name's Gary Wolf, one of the Pitbulls from the Monster Factory. I'm here working, get experience. And damn, is that your bus? You know what I mean? And he looked, he did the head tilt, looked at me, said, oh, so you work out? I go, yeah, I work out. So I want to be a wrestler. He's like, okay, that's good. And then he's like, you want to go on the bus and check it out? And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, fuck yeah, man. Let me see what the hell's going on. So he brought me on the bus, showed me his shit, and yeah, fucking gym in there, a suite, tanning bed. Dude, he didn't have to do nothing. People drove him everywhere he had to go. He didn't even have to get on a plane. It was awesome. And I just remember he didn't have to be that way. He could have been like, fuck you, kid. I got to go eat. I got shit to do. I didn't even ask him to go on. He invited me. You know what I mean? He was so humble to me and cool to me. And so was Ric Flair, another guy that's a big time guy who was so nice to me and my partner. I remember he would always point at us because we'd always be styling and profiling like him, man. We ride to a show, we're in a Range Rover, or we're in something nice, and he would always point us and say, you fucking Pitbulls, man. You fucking live that gimmick, man. Live it, always. And we always did. And he would always, now I remember that day pulling into AC, going to the NWA show or WCW show at the casinos. And he's walking in his bag and he sees us pull in with this polo green Range Rover, man. And he looked at us, he's like, is that the dogs? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, you motherfuckers, you live in the gimmick. But he was cool to us too. So it's like, I hear a lot of people say a lot of bad shit about some people. And I met them and they were a complete opposite. So it's either they fucked up or they were just in a bad mood. But like I said, Hogan could have told me to go kiss off. or shine his boots or something. You know what I mean? But he was very nice. He looked at me and said, "Look, you keep doing what you're doing. You come here, you get it, you get experience. You could have a bus like that someday, possibly. If not, you'll have a good job. You'll make good money. You'll travel the world." He told me straight up, he goes, "It was the best thing I could ever did." He goes, "Even though I broke my leg at wrestling school, I still went back." He's like, Master Saeed, I don't forget the guy's name exactly.
Yeah, I think it's Saito.
Yeah, but Fonzie
Right.
used to have to drive him around back in the day. But he broke Hogan's leg, snapped it like a pretzel, because Hogan, he went in there 360 pounds. You know what I mean? He was always big. So, you're not gonna fuck with Jack, man. They're gonna straighten you out right away and real quick. That's what I was always told.
Do you think Hogan is done, or do you think we could see, the money? Khan's got money. Do you think we could ever see Hogan show up in AEW?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's not that I don't think he could do it. I'm thinking his being physically. I don't know if he'd be able to do it physically. How many back surgeries? He's had so many back surgeries, bro. I mean, I saw an X-ray of his back. I fucking couldn't believe it. I was in shock. Like, I was just like, whoa. Like, damn. And he didn't bump that much.
No,
If you watch
really.
his whole career, he really didn't bump that much for it to be that bad. But I guess being that big and bumping that many times, everybody's body's different. I was just telling you earlier, my dumbass. I save a dog. Dog's 100 pounds. I get up to go to bed. I turn around the corner. The dog's there. I trip over the dog, fall into my wall. Next thing I know, my ass is like, I got two asses. I'm like, I don't know if I should go to the doctor or what, man. But I got one bad hematoma going over here. I must have hit a post in there or something like that. Definitely.
You always drain it yourself.
Well, I'm all about draining them. I'll let the professionals take care of that. I'm going to give it a week. I'm going to keep icing it and see what happens. And if it goes down, I'll be good. If not, then I'm going to go tell them they break out the big syringes and start pouring it out. So I must have hit my sciatica pretty bad. The only thing I got going for me, it's not running down my leg. So that's a very good news there. So.
Yeah, if I ever hurt when my sciatica goes, I got it all the way down to my toes. And that's
the worst pain. It's the worst pain ever, bro. You can't take a shit without being in pain. Is the worst. Straight up, man. Straight up.
When I had my kidney removed, like going to the bathroom wasn't fun, because when you're done, you got to turn around. It was like, oh, I dreaded going to the bathroom just because it was like, oh, this is gonna suck so bad. For like a good month, it was terrible.
It's fucking nuts, man, but it's true. But I've had done this to myself before. I just don't remember, because this is something that would have happened in the ring. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like, come on, what the fuck? My body. That's why I said it. Like, I got it. It happened to me, and I didn't get a bruise for like 3 or 4 or 5 days. It didn't bother me. It just out of the blue, it just started bothering me. So it took that long. I'm like, okay, yeah, my body's getting weak.
On that note, before we go, let me ask you, Daniel Bryan. We mentioned Daniel Bryan, AEW. Vince did not want Daniel Bryan taking those bumps, because the man said he's a concussion after concussion. He's had seizures, all kinds of stuff. Do you think now where he's working, now I know like a guy like Kenny Omega, he probably hit you 1,000 moves and he probably wouldn't feel a thing. But let's say we get Daniel Bryan in there with one of these guys. Everybody throws everybody throwing these kicks now. Everybody.
The super kick. Everybody throw a super kick.
I know it's not even a finish. It's just a normal. Do you think Daniel Bryan is in any danger over there? You think everybody knows how to take care of him?
I notice I can tell his work is a lot better because he's happier. And I guess he could do whatever the fuck he wants. Like, they're not giving him any limitations. And I do see his work is 100% better. than when it was at Vince. He knows his limits, man. He's a very intelligent guy. And I think he knows his limits. I know this is his last run, bro. I think personally. So I think he wants to end up, now that he's in AEW, he's already worked for Vince. Now he can go back to Japan, okay, and get the money that he deserves, which he will do if he's smart. Because we all started in Japan making shit money, but to everybody else, it was great money. But then when we got to Japan later and we got more money, that's when we, that's like when I said to Vince, pay me this and I'll come work for you. If not, I'm going to New Japan. Deep down inside, I knew if I left New Japan and said, okay, I'm going back to Vince, he's going to have to pay me more now. So that was always in my back of my mind. So the way Daniel Bryan, he did Japan, he did Ring of Honor, he did all that shit, but he didn't make no big money. Okay. Now that he is been in Vince McMahon champion, he's worked for WWF, now he's in AEW. That Kenny Omega match versus him would sell out Tokyo Dome with no problem, bro.
5-star match.
5-star match and 65,000 people standing room only, bro. And that's what he needs to do, and go get that money is what he needs to do. Because I was there and I seen Hulk Hogan. We were young, man. This is 1990, my first tour, second tour maybe. Hogan comes in for one match and leaves with $800,000. So I know that Hogan had to wait for them to make Hulk Hogan to come back. And when they came back, they paid him. And they're doing the same thing. Like I said, I think Jericho makes at least 100 cash for a match in Japan right now. And I wouldn't do it for less than that if I was him. You know what I'm saying? And that's me. That's just me telling you the facts. But now I see a point where Daniel Bryan has a good chance, absolutely, to go back to Japan and make big money. Big money. Because where's all the big guys making money no more? They're not there.
No.
We got to get our guys back there making them dollars. When I was there, Terry Funk, Stan Hansen, Gary Albright, they were all there. Scott Norton, that's how I met him. They were there. They're big dudes, man. They're making cash. They're making bank. So Ric Flair, he we can't count the cash, bro. I don't even want to tell you. It'll make you sick.
Well, I guess with that, we have anything else to say? I guess we're gonna have a lot of good topics again for next week. Next week. I remember mentioning a little bit more. Well, next week get ready for Halloween. Are you gonna watch Halloween Kills this weekend?
Did we watch? We watched the Halloween Kills. Was that Halloween Kills that we watched?
About the girls.
Was that about all the girls and they get killed?
No, this is the new Halloween Michael Myers movie. It starts tonight.
The new Michael Myers movie, Halloween Kills. It's called Halloween Kills.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
You can either go to the theater to see it, or it's going to stream on Peacock. That's how I'm going to watch it tomorrow night.
He's going to watch tomorrow. It comes out on Peacock.
Oh, awesome.
And is that going to be the last one?
One more after it.
There's one more.
Ends. Yeah.
No. Yeah, that should be pretty good. If they're going to do one more, they have to make this one good. Otherwise, why bother make the other one?
I've talked about all that. We get ready for Halloween. We'll have to talk about some horror movies too.
Yeah, definitely. We watched this. What was it called? Christmas Killers was called.
It was called Black Christmas.
It was called Black Christmas.
Oh yeah, I've seen Black. There's like 3 of them by now. They keep remaking it.
Oh, they keep remaking it. It was
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, I was expecting something different.
The original's pretty slow. I mean, it's not my favorite Christmas horror movie is Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Okay. Oh my. Huh. Trying to figure out which one was mine. I always liked the comedies, I guess, during the holidays. I love Vacation, Christmas
yeah,
Vacation.
Vacation.
I love that.
I like
Because of Eddie comes there and empties out. The shitter's fault. It's the fucking best, bro. I mean, come on, man. If that guy can't make you laugh and turn your day upside down, man, I don't know who can, you know? So I'll leave it at that.
We'll have to do
Comes
a
in Eddie.
holiday Christmas special.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining everybody today, and we'll be back again next week.
Yes, we will, man. Check it out, guys.